advanced tricks, and that's the winner. It's about giving the audience a show, showing them how much you love pole dancing, and telling a story with the pole as your main tool. So that's the purpose of the competition, and I was involved. I was in all 3 Polesques that have been going on so far. They happen twice a year out in Galapagos Art Space, which is in Dumbo. And Polesque, I was very intimidated going into this all 3 times. I'm often hard on myself because I think, man, by this time I should be doing these tricks. I could be doing this and this. And, you know, I blame it because, you know, maybe my body type isn't right. I need to lose weight. I need to gain strength. Blah, blah, blah. So I'm in the process of learning how to get over myself. And one of the ways when I went into Polesque, when I was chosen, I was so happy. And there was a lot of girls that came with a lot of tricks. So my plan of attack was to bring the performance aspect. So this year I performed to Christina Aguilera's Nasty Naughty Boy, which is my ultimate favorite pole song of all time. It's got a very like old school burlesque feel to it, and I just went with it. I did the tricks that I knew I could nail, and then when I wasn't on the pole, I was dancing around rolling. It was actually one of my pole instructors. Yeah, he is. He told me a lot of what I know. So he was my muse on stage. And then we had, after I was chosen for the top 3, we had a dance battle. And there again, I just wanted to show everybody how much I love this and how happy I am to be part of this sport and to represent particularly the plus size athletes. Because pole is intimidating when I'm standing on stage next to 110-pound girls who's been gymnasts their whole lives. And you know, honestly, I'm 225 pounds, and that's not typical in the pole community. But I want to show people, and as they've shown me, that's still cool. I would describe my style as Diva. So, I have a healthy relationship with my sexuality and my sensuality. Doesn't mean I'm a hoe, it just means that I like putting it out there in a way that's safe, in a way that is, you know, my goal when I perform is to turn the audience on, men and women. I want both of you going, did she, what? But then losing your damn mind cheering afterwards, because yes, I went there. So I decided I would describe it as confident, sensual, fun, basically Beyonce on a pole. One thing, it doesn't matter how big or small you are, pole is not an easy sport for anybody. Unless you were born on the uneven rings or in a gym, that it's going to take time to develop skills doing this. I did not learn this overnight. I think one of the reasons why the ladies who come to my class keep coming back is because I look like them. I physically look like them. I'm African American. I recognize that I'm a plus size athlete, and I'm okay with that because just because I'm this particular size doesn't mean that I can't do anything. You know, sometimes some tricks come easier than others. Other times it takes time to build strength. But it is understanding what you can do. That's why I really emphasize in my class, it's not just about the tricks, but it's how do you feel about doing that? When we're rolling on the ground and doing booty pops, you know, that doesn't necessarily require strength or that you look a certain way. That's just letting loose and having fun. And that's why I love this sport. So that's what I'm trying to preach, the gospel of pole. And so I do think having somebody who the women in my class can physically relate to has been a huge step in taking the intimidation factor out of this sport. After I was crowned the Polesque Spring 2011 champion, there was a pole dancer in Boston who connected me to the first assistant director, Danny Silverman, to I Hate You, Dad, which is a new Adam Sandler film that's coming up. The film stars Adam Sandler and Andy Samberg, and there's a whole host of celebrities that are in it. Among them is Lunel. Lunel is crazy, hilarious, and bananas, but she's one of the nicest women I've ever met. She plays a stripper in the movie, and now Lunel has never touched a pole a day in for life. So they did a casting call for, get this, black, plus size, African American, 18 to 35-year-old advanced pole dancer. They apparently could not find that in Boston or anyplace else, but somebody who saw me in the Polesque show found me on Facebook and connected me to the right people, and so I essentially auditioned through my videos and an article that was written in Polesque magazine about me a few months ago, and that was my audition. And then I found myself 2 days later in Boston on a pole trying on costumes, and wow. I spent 2 weeks working with the most incredible cast and staff and crew, and it was an amazing experience. Well, I got to introduce pole dancing to a lot of people who had never seen it outside of strip clubs or where you typically think of that. So I'm so happy that I was able to act as an ambassador for the sport, and also for women of my size who may feel that they're not going to be accepted doing something physical just because of their physique. They can do it, and so it was fantastic. My hopes that, generally speaking, is that we don't have to hide on Facebook, oh my God, you're a pole dancer, we need to fire you from your job because you're a dirty stripper. I would like people to, and I think they're starting to see the athleticism that is behind this sport. Yes, our outfits are skimpy, but so are two-piece bathing suits. Right. You know, our performances have a sexual aspect to them sometimes, but that's not everything. Pole dancing is a very diverse sport, and my hopes are that it will lose the stigma of being this negative thing where, you know, girls are just trying to get dirty money from guys doing, because that's not what it's about at all. So that's really a hope. I know there's a big movement to try and get pole dancing into the Olympics, or even perhaps the X Games. I would fly anywhere in the world to be in the front row of the first competition when pole dancing does get to the Olympics. That is, it would just be the huge deal in the community.
Diva is a female version of a hustler,